Hello you guys and welcome to my channel. I'm so excited to have you here. So today I wanted to take a quick second to not do a vlog today and actually talk about my MacBook Pro. So as you guys know, if you watch my channel, I bought this new 2021 MacBook Pro literally last year, the day that it launched. I bought it and I got the base model of the MacBook Pro, and I, as someone who am not a professional with tech, I'm just like your everyday gal who uses tech in her everyday life. Like I have multiple cameras, I do YouTube, I use microphones every day, I use this laptop, I use my iMac. I thought that I would give you guys a non-professional, just your everyday girl review on my MacBook Pro. So I've had my MacBook Pro for about 3 months now, using it consistently, pretty much using it every single day of my life. So I feel like I have a good rundown of my pros and cons and who I would really recommend this computer to. So first off though, I did buy a case for it, which I've actually been enjoying this case. If you guys want like a clear case for your MacBook Pro, I will link this one down below. I think it was on Amazon for like less than $20. So I've been loving the case because I am definitely someone who does not want my computer to get scratched up, and I wanted a clear case so I could see the actual computer like color instead of getting a colored case like I had last time. So let's get into the pros of this computer. So my first pro to this laptop is the ports that it has. So I know the prior MacBook Pro actually did not have the MagSafe port, so they came back with that. They also have the USB-C ports here, so they have 2 on this side and then 1 on this side. They also have an SD card holder, and then I never use that. I believe it's the HDMI port. So I am glad that with this computer, I do not have to carry around all of these like little adapters. The only thing I wish it did have was a port for external hard drives, but it does not, and that's very unfortunate because I still have to travel with this. So if I'm traveling, I need to bring my laptop. I literally have to carry this around, and then if you don't have one of these, you're shit out of luck and you can't use it. So keep that in mind, that the new MacBook Pro still doesn't have like a port for external hard drives, but I can still use it for my SD card, and then I now have like all the USB-C adapters that I can use with it because I needed it for my iMac. But that's definitely something I liked that they're starting to bring back. Maybe they will bring this one back so that we don't need to have this whole freaking thing just for my external hard drive to plug into my computer. So please, Apple, bring it back. So that would be like a pro and a con, that they gave like the SD card holder back, but they no longer have that. So I still have to have like extra adapters, which I think is something to keep in mind. The next thing that I really love about the MacBook Pro is the screen size itself. So the border between the actual like screen and the frame of it, I believe it's called bezels. Again, I'm not a full technology girl, I'm just your everyday gal. But the border between the actual like screen and the frame of the computer is much smaller. So I actually had a MacBook Air, and the difference between like the actual screen itself to the sides was like this big. It was like a huge chunk of just space for no freaking reason. So when I got this, it was like nice to have most of my screen be a literal screen, so it's not too large, not too small, and I really enjoy that about it. But talking about sizes of things, I think that the size of the MacBook Pro is really great. Coming from a MacBook Air, if you are someone who uses a MacBook Air, I definitely think that it will be a little, or it'll take a little bit of time to get used to the size. It's definitely more boxy. It's kind of just like having a literal square instead of the MacBook Airs are much thinner. So if you look at the sides, this is kind of like how thick it is, and then this is like pretty much the same thickness as the sides, and you don't really have that with the MacBook Air. The MacBook Air is much thinner. This is definitely heavier and it is boxier, but I will say that I really enjoy it. I thought that I wasn't going to like the fact that it was bigger. It still fits perfectly in everything. It fits in my travel bag. It's not like too heavy where it's like, oh my god, this is like a heavy computer. It's literally not. It's just a little bit heavier than the MacBook Air. So that was definitely something I was nervous for, was it would be too big for me. So, oh, and by the way, I have the 14-inch, if you guys didn't notice, but I have the 14-inch, but I definitely look at the size as a pro. The next thing that I really like about the MacBook Pro is the charging. I'm telling you guys that I do not have to charge my computer often, and I use my laptop every single day. I use my laptop to research like YouTube videos. I use it every single day just as admin work. I use Word, like Microsoft Word, every single day. I respond to YouTube comments. Like I'm always having things up on my computer because I always wanted a computer that if I didn't want to sit at my desk and use my iMac, that I could easily transfer all of my stuff onto the MacBook Pro and it still be able to run properly. With my MacBook Air, I definitely had that issue where the fans would be extremely loud, my computer would overheat. I literally drained the battery in the MacBook Air where I had to get a battery replaced, and I had to pay like $130 out of pocket for that. So for the MacBook Pro, I believe that the battery is like, it's top tier in my opinion. I do not charge it often. The only time I will have to like charge it a little bit more is if I'm editing heavily on it. So if I'm using Final Cut Pro or iMovie or whatever editing software I decide to use, it may take like a little bit more juice, but I never hear the fans going, it never overheats, and then it never like slows down speed because of that. And that's what I really like, because my MacBook Air was not like that. My MacBook Air would definitely die. Like I couldn't even get through editing one YouTube video. With this, I can. I couldn't get through just being on my computer for a day. If you're someone who definitely needs to like edit videos or you're a content creator, I would recommend the Pros versus the Airs based on like my personal experience, but this one's been really great so far. I'll probably do an update like a year in, or maybe I'll upgrade again. Maybe I'll keep upgrading my MacBooks to give you guys reviews, but I will definitely keep updating you guys on that to see how fast the battery wears down, because my MacBook Air battery wore down within a year. Like within the 1 year of having it, the editing and the work I was putting into it was just too much that it could not take it anymore. So I definitely look at this as a pro. Like this computer can take a lot without dying on you or messing up or anything like that, or overheating or the fans going. And then another thing I use this with is when I film my videos. So when I film my YouTube videos, I normally have my computer like sitting out, and when I do, I have a bunch of stuff plugged into it. I normally have like my external hard drive plugged in and a microphone plugged in and an external mic, as I'm also using my computer when filming. And on my MacBook Air, it would literally overheat so much to the part where like you could hear the fans, and then the fans in the computer would go to my actual microphone, and in my mic you would hear the static and the fan of the actual computer. I have never had that issue with this. This is great. I can film my external like audio on my external like microphone on here while I'm using an external hard drive, while I'm playing videos, while I'm doing like research and pulling up scripts and having multiple tabs open while filming a video, and it still doesn't do that. It doesn't overheat. It doesn't like slow down or anything like that. So that would definitely be something that I like about this computer, is it can take a lot. But the cons I would say is the price, depending on who you are. So $2,000 is a lot compared to the MacBook Airs. I think mine was like $1,200 when I got the MacBook Air, and a lot of the MacBook Airs you can find cheaper nowadays. If you are someone that is not really needing the heavy like load of what comes with the Pro, then I feel like the price isn't worth it. Like spending $2,000 without taxes on this computer, if you barely use it or it's just sitting around and you don't really need it for anything, I just don't think you're someone who needs it unless you freaking want it. If you want it, I say go for it. I definitely recommend the MacBook Pro if you are someone who really needs a heavy computer, right? Something that could do it all. But if you're someone who just needs something for college, I would definitely recommend the MacBook Air. I feel like that would be a good option without having to spend too much money. So that is my 3-month review of trying out my MacBook Pro. I will let you guys know over time if the battery like wears out, being someone that uses it a lot for editing and stuff like that, seeing if the battery like dies out on me, kind of how my MacBook Air did. I will keep you guys updated on that, but so far I'm obsessed. I love it. I could use this for everything. I am a little spoiled with my MacBook or with my iMac because of how huge the screen is, the 24-inch compared to the 14, that a lot of the times when I do want to edit at home, I will go to my iMac because the screen's bigger so I can see more. But for traveling, or if I just don't want to sit at my desk, the MacBook Pro is perfect. Not like before where my MacBook Air, I would dread editing on it because of the fact that it just could not handle it and it would die. It was just not a fun time. It would overheat. I'd have to stop editing. It was the worst. So anyways, that's going to be all for this video. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. Next week will be a fun little vlog of me prepping to travel, which I'm about to start that vlog right now. So you will see me looking the exact same in that video. And then that's going to be all, and I will see you guys in the next video.